Meghan deserves all the hate directed at her. This is why we believe it. Usually, I try really hard to be a good Christian woman. I try to be kind to everybody. I don't believe that anybody deserves hatred, and I try to give everybody a second chance. But at the same time, I just cannot believe this woman, Meghan Markle. I mean, she was given the dream of most little girls, but because she wasn't up to snuff, she wanted everybody to bend to her will. She had it all, and she's the one who chose to throw it all away. Most people do not appreciate ungrateful people like Meghan. Meghan has told so many lies just to get her way, and people do not like liars either. Meghan Markle claims that her own family hurt her so badly and that the royal family did too, but the truth is, she just doesn't have any loyalty. Everything always has to be all about her, with every breath and every move. People do not like selfish people. When Meghan doesn't get her way, what does she do? Well, she bullies other people, she whines, and she throws hissy fits. Spoiled people are usually not very well liked. Meghan also just blows money on stupid stuff. And that's something that is really hard for other people to watch, especially considering how many people out there are struggling just to put food on the table. And then when everything goes wrong, what does Meghan do? Well, of course, she's going to point the finger at somebody else. People do not like others who will not accept accountability for their actions. People all around the world have basic values, and narcissists are very spiteful, resentful people, and they're incredibly difficult to live with. I think the person that hates Meghan the most, though, is Meghan herself. The rest of us are just sick and tired of her nonsense. Meghan Markle is a bully, and not only that, but she has bullied little children. She has bullied employees who cannot retaliate, and she's bullied animals, and that is obvious even before she married Harry. I mean, her constant vicious accusations that have been proven to be lies and intended to discredit other people, people who tried to help her, but people whom she began to hate for not being able to have her own misguided way and not having access to all the homes and the jewelry and the money that she thought Harry was going to give her, and of course the fact that she's never going to be Catherine. These are the problems with Meghan Markle, and these are the problems that are so incredibly obvious now. Even when Meghan and Harry were on a royal tour of some of the Commonwealth countries, Meghan's overbearing and disrespectful attitude caused a lot of concern, but Meghan wouldn't listen to anybody. For example, when somebody asked her to please be a little nicer to the staff, she told the Australian governor's wife to get off and just look up that hot tea incident and look up the publicity security stunt if you don't believe me. Everybody in the UK greeted Meghan with open arms. They were happy to have her, including the royal family. But thanks to her own arrogance and her disrespectful behavior and just flouting good manners and protocol, well, soon enough people began to see her for what she really is. This money-hungry social climber. Somebody who believed that she would go back to the USA as an A-lister in Hollywood so that she would finally make all the money she wanted and make the royal family jealous. But it looks like Charles is following his mother's advice to never complain and never explain. See, once you go down that road, it would lead to denials from Meghan and Harry, and then Charles would have to counter those denials, and it would give Meghan exactly what she wants. Because what she wants is attention. She's probably a lot more frustrated about being ignored than all the frantic people making these crazy accusations about Charles being weak. See, actually, being weak would mean giving Meghan somebody to fight with. That is exactly what she wants. Meghan and Harry have brought all this hatred upon themselves. They told so many lies, and then they told even more lies. They didn't care who they hurt in the process. They didn't even care who they caused to die thanks to their awful lies. They just kept on with them. And there are going to be more, I'm sure. Meghan just cannot help herself. She just wants more and more attention. She can't go very long without that attention, actually. That is her fuel, her lifeblood. And that's also why Meghan keeps going places where she knows she's going to be photographed and calls up the paparazzi to make sure that happens. She is so desperate for attention. She's like a junkie. She needs her fix. She cannot view herself as the rest of us do. Meghan cannot feel the humiliation that she should be feeling when she gets caught in her lies. Now, this is just my opinion, but at the same time, I am basing this off of everything I've seen from Meghan over the past few years. And I don't hate Meghan Markle. I don't know her, so I couldn't possibly hate her. But I am not going to support her or Harry. Nothing they do really impacts me for the most part, but they put themselves out there for the whole world to watch, and this is what they get in return. I don't have any time for liars. Now, once I notice a person is a liar, I'm never going to trust them again. I make sure that I don't hang around people like that, and I do not want anyone to accuse me of being a liar either. It is Meghan and Harry themselves, I think mostly Meghan, who calls up the paparazzi to document their every move, and then they throw it out there for the whole world to see. I mean, you would think that if the world is watching you, then you would want to be on your best behavior. Well, not the two of them. They just assume the rest of the world is too dumb to see all the lies, and that one is so confusing to me. Meghan Sugars also don't help her at all by validating her lies. They take articles that have been proven to be PR puff pieces, and then they try to act like these articles are solid proof. And they also refuse to look at proof that is right in front of them. Remember the old saying, stupid is seeing proof of a lie and still believing in the lie? Well, it applies here. Now, with friends like that, I don't believe Meghan needs any more enemies. These sugars make themselves look so dumb, and that reflects poorly on Meghan and Harry, but of course they cannot see that. If my friends were letting me destroy myself, then you know what? I wouldn't have any respect for them, and I probably wouldn't count them as friends anymore. And I think Meghan's lies about the pregnancy are the worst. I can say 100% that she definitely lied. I'm an American, and to tell you the truth, I probably wouldn't have even realized all the lies that she told on Oprah if it were not for the great people of Britain who pointed out her lies. But what about the pregnancy? Oh yeah, I did give birth to 4 real children, and I know that she lied about her pregnancy 100%. I can tell you with 100% certainty that when you are carrying a child, your belly only gets bigger and bigger. It's never going to all of a sudden look flat after the 6th month. It doesn't make sense. Meghan's belly, on the other hand, was always inflating and deflating like some kind of balloon. There is no way that she would have been able to squat in high heels either after her 6th month. I mean, come on. There is no way that she would have even been able to wear high heels at that time, let alone squat in them. Who does she think she's fooling? Let's not forget the fact that her belly completely vanished when she did squat in stilettos. Her feet would have been all swollen. I think that she would have only wanted to wear some flat slip-on shoes if she were really pregnant. Now, to me, that was a dead giveaway. And anybody who claims that it is possible, I'm not sure I trust them. It's not glamorous, but in the final months of pregnancy, most women do swell up all over. Meghan's face was only swollen after she gave birth. How does that make any sense? Well, I'll tell you when that might happen. That might happen if you're taking hormones to breastfeed a child that you didn't give birth to. Breastfeeding a baby that you gave birth to has the opposite effect. Now, breastfeeding actually tightens the uterus and it empties the fluid in the body. And your breasts are going to stay big until you're finished breastfeeding. Oh yeah, the weird thing to me is that Meghan's breasts never really changed in size. She's the only woman in the whole world who is pregnant and somehow her chest never grew. I mean, I think every woman I have known who was 9 months pregnant was waddling around. It's impossible not to. A pregnant woman in the last month of pregnancy is always waddling because the hips are spreading, getting ready to deliver that beautiful baby. Now, the baby's head is down in the way of the pelvis. And this brings me to that picture of Meghan standing at the window when she supposedly was 9 months along. That was a complete lie. It didn't make sense to me how straight Meghan's back was, because when you've got the baby's weight pulling in front, then of course your back is naturally going to arch. Another big giveaway is that a pregnant woman's belly is as hard as a rock in the 8th and 9th months. It wouldn't be dipping like a pillow for Archie's head. So Meghan has shown me that she is a big fat liar thanks to all this. Her miscarriage, I'm sure, was also a lie. You can't just take a fetus out of the hospital, my goodness. It's considered biomaterial and they will only release it to a funeral home. The only US states also that have banyan trees would be Florida and Hawaii. California simply doesn't have that kind of tree. And actually, it is against the law to bury human remains outside a cemetery, so why they told that story I will never understand. Maybe you can bury a close relative in a private cemetery, but that has to be figured out with the state and the county that you live in. There are also rules and regulations in order to do that, so the whole story is a big fat lie. Meghan just puts the lies out there for us to see, and I don't have any respect for liars like her. I'm gonna keep on watching this train wreck until the very end though. Unfortunately, now I'm already sucked in, and I gotta see how this whole drama ends. And you, what do you think about them? Let us know your opinion below in the comments section, and we can also discuss Meghan and Harry. Don't be afraid to like and share my video with anybody else who needs it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.